we're going to be focusing on breaking the law at the border.
Mm-hmm.
Breaking the law at the border with these Gomez-Schempp camp people. I suspect there will be more than just the Gomez-Schempp camp real soon. And I invite you guys to learn about the folks that are going down there and their background and what they're doing and why they're doing it, why they say they're doing it, and what they're really doing. It's important to differentiate the two. So let's get started on today's show, Breaking the Law at the Border, here on A Mexican Crossing Lines with your hosts, Cindy Gomez-Schempp
And Duke Gomez-Schempp.
On 88.1 FM KPPPLP, Fargo Moorhead, where we're adding local color to your airwaves. You can also find all of our past shows at kpppfm.com, as well as on our YouTube channel, Duke 1517.
That's right.
Go subscribe, click the notification button. And I wanted to mention that we have a lot of shows on the caravan. So if you don't know what's going on with this caravan and you really want to learn, you can go to our webpage at kpppfm.com and just search caravan. I have Spanish programs and English programs. And the last one I did was conning a country. I have the most recent ones that I will be sharing in the comments of today's show so that you guys can go and check it out. Duke, tell folks how they can... oh, by the way, thanks once again, as always, for all the information you guys have sent. Honestly, I couldn't do this without your support, without your help. All of the information you give me by phone, by email, by messages. Thank you for all of your comments and all of your information.
That's
Duke,
right.
how can folks support our work?
And yes, send them by pigeon. All the ways you do, we really, really appreciate. You can do it many ways. I'm always going to start out my way of getting a hold of us. And the way I do, I always want to plug our call-in line. It's a call-in line where you can leave a message up to 3 minutes. And the number is 701-566-0917. Again, the number is 701-566-0917. You can leave a message. We may put it on the air. You can also tweet us at @medias_PPP. And you can do email. It's pretty simple. Cindy at kpppfm.com or me, Duke at kpppfm.com. The Facebook's been very popular, and thank you very much for all the people who have been responding to the Facebook and sending us messages there. There must not be a limit to what you can send on Facebook. So you can do attachments, screenshots, videos, all this sort of stuff that gives us information we can use. You can go to 88.1 FM Fargo Moorhead, the People's Press Project, and Mexi-Can. You can also find Cindy on a public page on Facebook by searching at Cindy Go Schempp. As Cindy mentioned too, that we have a YouTube channel, Duke 1517. We take the Facebook Lives and we upload them to YouTube and we put them in high definition so you can watch them just by themselves. You'll see the comments now since we have a comment stream up on the screen itself. Just go to Duke 1517 and subscribe and click the bell so you know when we upload our videos. We tend to do them after the show's over. And so sometimes it gets late because we get done at 11 o'clock night Central Time and might not be up until midnight. Also, go to kpppfm.com. That's where we'll put all of our recent shows. I'm actually one behind, or maybe two behind. And that's where we'll put links. And also, you have an opportunity to comment there. You can also contact us through a web form on kpppfm.com. And please go to our kpppfm.com/donate page and help support our work. Help support our platform. Because we are funded by viewers and listeners like you, because we're a nonprofit, community-run, localized radio station that we broadcast in the Fargo Moorhead area, and the Facebook Live has helped us go way beyond Fargo Moorhead. But people in the local listening area are people who get radio every day. The live streams, many of them are converted to audio programs that we'll put on the air. Some we don't, some we do. It depends how it goes, and sometimes they're very visual, and we try to explain things so people in the listening audience can know what's going on. So we really appreciate everybody who's worked with us, everybody who's donated, everybody that supports us, everybody that watches this.
It's true. So tonight I'm going to jump in and start talking about what's happening with these people that are breaking the law.
Oh, yeah.
I've shown you in all the different ways that they are. It is my opinion that they are doing this in conjunction with bringing people here illegally. That means undocumented. And I get it. Ideally, people feel that the border didn't cross us. I mean, we didn't cross the border. The border crossed us. Our people have been here for thousands of years.
Yeah.
That we should not be illegal. But that also is ignoring the fact that these policies and these laws do exist, and that you are exposing people to going to jail, to going to detention centers, and you're not really telling them what they're getting into. You're not really being honest with them about what they face. I know for a fact that regardless of what some idealistic American activist thinks, no person that I can think of in the caravan, unless they were paid off to do it, would turn themselves in to be held in an ICE detention facility for possibly a year or longer. No one in their right mind would turn themselves over to authorities and go, here, I want to go to jail for a year or longer or indefinitely because I thought I was going to get into the United States and get asylum, and instead I'm in here. So I've explained to you that the folks that are ill-advising, misadvising,
lying
to the caravan goers are putting them in grave danger. I've also told you that the Minority Humanitarian Foundation, run by the founder, Mark Arabow, and then he stepped away from it. We don't know why for sure. Interestingly, today, Duke, I found out that he also ran an underground railroad, that's what they called it, for Iraqi and Chaldean refugees. Because remember, it started off being a refugee thing for Chaldeans and Iraqis.
Oh, yeah.
They ran an underground railroad.
Really?
Wow. That's what I found out today. But the thing is, the question is, what is a person that Mark Lane, James Elia, that had this neighborhood market association that was sued for over and lost the lawsuit for over $250,000 in fines and fees, running a refugee organization for Central Americans and Mexicans and Nicaraguans who speak Spanish, but definitely should not be leading the conversation about Mexico and Central Americans. Definitely should not be at the forefront of an organization that is helping those people, because the people most affected should be leading that conversation.
For sure.
That's like organizing 101. And there's a lot of activists and organizers involved in this, many of whom, for whatever reason, have misguidedly put a bunch of people that are not the most affected by this issue at the forefront of this issue and position themselves to be those who receive the funding, the media attention, and the support. And unfortunately, when you put people that don't have the best interest, the understanding of those people that they are actually supposedly helping, because they are not representative of the most affected within those groups, you get this kind of nonsense. You get people mismanaging money. You get people defrauding the public. You get people conning our country. You get people breaking the law. And I also told you recently in my last show, in fact, that Gavin Newsom, Nancy Pelosi's nephew, the governor of California, is going to be giving $25 million in support of organizations that are doing this work. And one of those organizations that has positioned themselves to get that money is the Minority Humanitarian Foundation and the Rapid Response Network with Mohammed Al-Nakib. And
wow. Wow.
Linda Sarsour.
Oh, God.
Right? Mm-hmm. What are those people doing at the forefront of a conversation about immigrants and especially about Mexico? Who the hell knows? Why is this being allowed by Gavin Newsom and others? I can only guess, but I didn't get to show you some other of Mark Arabow, the founder of the Minority Humanitarian Foundation's friends, acquaintances, very, very important politicians. Here are some of those now. We've got Mark Arabow with Gavin Newsom. Okay. And I showed you that there was pictures of Gavin Newsom with James Elias, who is now the vice president of the Minority Humanitarian Foundation. Here is Mark Arabow with Obama. Here is Mark Arabow with Clinton.
Whoops.
Maybe.
Nope. There we go.
Here he is with the Clinton. No, that's not the Clintons. Those are the Carters.
Oh.
Does that move down?
It does.
Okay. Because I would say, I know that I saw, I'm not crazy. I didn't confuse Bill Clinton for Jimmy Carter, did I?
Yeah, let's see what's going on there.
There's Obama again. There's Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going crazy.
No, you're not going crazy.
Thank God.
I'm going crazy.
Okay. So then let's go to this article in which they talk about this neighborhood market association run by Mark Arabow. And of course, he no longer is at the helm of the Minority Humanitarian Foundation, but the same three guys that were part of this scam crime are now, two of them are now running the Minority Humanitarian Foundation. And what this article says is that a judge ruled against the president, who's Mark Arabow, of the Neighborhood Market Association. That was just in November 20th of 2017. I mean, Duke, this crime wasn't even that long ago.
No, it wasn't.
This
pretty recent.
Yeah. And San Diego's Superior Court ordered a prominent member of San Diego immigrant community, a prominent member, Mark Arabow, of the immigrant community to return $248,000 to business groups that he directs. It says here, he's an activist for Middle Eastern Christians. He also runs the Neighborhood Market Association, which represents 200 stores, mini marts, and gas stations throughout the country. Gas stations. Okay.
Wow.
I just want to pause for that because these are the same people that want to do all of this Latin America immigration support. I don't understand it. It says that 2 years ago, two members of the group sued Arabow, and that Judge Richard Strauss ordered him to return $210 bonus awarded to him by the association directors, plus $38,000 in expenses. So he referred to this as double dipping. The judge also said that he questioned the credibility of several of the witnesses in the case. He thought these people were out and out liars, stating, "This is one of the most unusual cases I've had in my 22 years on the bench." Strauss told the parties last week after closing arguments in the case, "I've never heard so much fiction under oath. It's really unbelievable. I don't even know where to start." And of course, I told you that during this trial, Mark Arabow tried to claim that he couldn't recognize his own handwriting.
Oh, yeah.
For example, there's a lot of
I remember that.
very strange lying. As we say, sin vergüenza. Sin vergüenza. These people have no vergüenza. They do not care. They shamelessly lie. And then they go on to their next scheme. For some reason, no one seems to be looking very deeply into the organization founded by Mark Arabow and now run by Mark Lane and James Elia. I also wanted to show you that the people that campaign with them, for them, that protest with them, for them, are connected to Antifa, to Yvette Falarca. They support her, they like her, etc. It's problematic, is what I'm saying. So now I want to take you to Jackson County Cemetery, the Jackson Eli Cemetery, I think it's called. This report from KVEO shows you an update about what the group at the Somisek camp are doing right now. Check it out.
As tribal leaders and activists prepare to battle bulldozers to protect sacred burial grounds here at the Jackson Brewster Cemetery in San Juan, some like Dwayne Redwater of Standing Rock Sioux Tribe are reflecting on their time at Standing Rock.
It was kind of an honor to be there whenever that was there, because that's what they went through. That was just a small taste, it was just a small taste of what our ancestors went through, and I got to taste a little bit of that.
Redwater recalls a peaceful and prayerful experience which has made him stronger and calls the experience life-changing, which has emboldened him to come to the RGV to stand with his people.
Kind of our jobs to be the landlords and caretakers again, and show the people the right path again.
Evan Duke, a veteran and activist with the Border Support Network, also here in the RGV taking a stand against the wall, spent nearly 6 months at Standing Rock and recalls some of those more harrowing moments.
I can tell you we saw some veterans having PTSD attacks because we're literally in a no-fly zone surrounded by snipers and floodlights, and suddenly it's freezing temperatures and it looks like a war zone out there at night.
Duke says he learned a lot from his experience and says he does his activism work because it's the right thing to do and hopes it will inspire others to also take a stand.
What we saw at Standing Rock was a continuance of a movement and a reawakening of the indigenous movement, a reigniting of those fires.
Duke adds the movement against the wall does have a similar feel to Standing Rock and says he expects the stance against federal forces to be more intense. While Duke and Redwood have unique experiences at Standing Rock, both say they are here for the long haul.
People ask me, oh, how long are you here, as long as it takes.
In San Juan, I'm Mike Jimenez for KVO Local 23 News.
What did you think of what they were saying about Standing Rock and comparing it to what's happening right now? First of all, I think it's absolutely bizarre, but what are your thoughts about what they were saying about how he said that he was at Standing Rock, so he got a little taste there of what his ancestors went through and the PTSD stuff?
Oh, I don't know. It's a load of crap. I mean, the way they're describing it, at Standing Rock, it was, I was there 5 different times, throughout the year. And, there was some intense stuff happening there, but it's like the military didn't line up in hills with weaponry and stuff. They were basically agitating law enforcement, agitating people. They were creating a culture of, they called it resistance, but I think it was really they were creating a culture of their own takeover of resources, their own notoriety. I don't think they were there at all sincerely to really fight for any indigenous rights. I think it became a big stepping stone for people that were going to launch their careers in what they call activisms, because activists now have they have this credibility that news station would say that Evan Duke was at Standing Rock for 6 months and he talks about snipers and here's a war zone, and it was like, it was a big party. Part of it. I mean, when we'd go there would be concerts at night. There would be people that came from across the country, and whoop, whoop, whoop. It was like, it was like Burning Man almost in some sense. There were a lot of people there really respectfully doing a lot of prayer and a lot of getting together with community, but it turned into something really ugly. So when someone premises that they were there for 6 months, it's trying to give themselves credibility, and also is like, they're just spinning it into the next action. I mean, this has been being used. Standing Rock is being used to spin into other things that have nothing to do with what they're saying. And so I think a lot of those people are a bunch of liars. They're fabricating stuff. And then when they get media attention like that is because they look unusual, like they're trying to do something good. But I don't believe these people are up to any good.
Well, I've showed you what they're capable of, so there's definitely concerns, and for good reason. There's good reason to be concerned. The post by Evan Duke about the border wall is that... Could you read that, honey?
I sure can. Let's see. Evan Duke is in Mission, Texas. One moment. Butterflies Without Borders, No Borders Wall. Equipment arriving at National Butterfly Center and Benston State Park. A road grader with Homeland Security stickers and a border patrol vehicle delivering spiked road strips. Also, an excavator at La Parida Banco NWR tract west of Benson State Park, and law enforcement blocking the road over the levee. So he's basically saying that they are there to start construction.
Yeah.
I don't know what they would need the strips, to blow up tires for. I'm not sure what they need that for unless they are seeing some sort of resistance and people getting in the way that they're preparing for.
Mm-hmm.
But these folks have, it's an issue. I mean, it's an issue for that community. But at the same time, they are making it so there's going to be a confrontation because they've been saying we're going to stand in front of the bulldozers. We're going to block the bulldozers. They've been announcing what they call direct action, which it is basically breaking the law. Nonviolent direct action is usually something that was done different in the 60s and the 70s and earlier in the century. But these folks are taking it to basically destroy property and get in the way and disrupt things.
Under the false pretense that there are butterflies that are going to die, that there is a sacred burial sites or artifacts, or that, they have indigenous rights of first contact, or,
Yeah.
what did he call it? The tribal chair, that indigenous first peoples law, something. I don't know. I don't understand what difference any of those things make when you're just trying to come up with a pretext that you feel gives you the moral authority to break the law, whether it's state law or federal law. And I wanted to show you the tags. Who's tagged in that post? Oh, well, there's Doug McLean.
Oh, yeah.
From Indigenous Life Movement, a guy that is a white guy running an Indigenous Life Movement page. Evan Duke's other page, as you can see, it's his other Facebook page. Brendan Tucker, again, another white guy that is working on this immigration policy. Jay Ponte, the guy that was raising all the money for these folks. Juan B. Mancias, Krista Mancias, Joe Plouffe, the guy from the Border Support Network. Wania Locke, Dwayne Redwater. He's in these news pieces. He was in the last video we just saw. He was the buddy of Wiaka Eaglemint that went to Tijuana with Lilith Sinclair. No, Jesse Sandoval, I mean. And then we've got Arkel Bloss of Real Progressives. Frances Fisher.
Oh, yeah.
The actress. She's tagged in this, guys. Frances Fisher from Hollywood? Why is she tagged by Evan Duke?
Exactly.
He knows her. They are friends. So we have Dallas Goldtooth of the Indigenous Environmental Network, Phyllis Young from, as you know, the Indigenous Peoples March organizer, but also she was one of the leaders out at Standing Rock that made the call out for people to come, along with Dave Archambault and others. And is that all we got? Can you move it up?
I was just fixing the chat there.
Let's see who else we got on this. Douglas Warren. Douglas Warren is that poet dude, the poetry slam dude that I showed you that was out at this Somisek village camp. Is that all the tags?
Yes, that's it.
Okay, next one, I want to show you this article. Eco Watch, and the title is Border Wall Construction is Imminent at the Most Diverse Butterfly Center in the U.S. Who decided that this was the most diverse butterfly center in the U.S.? I don't know, but they decided it, and they put it in the headline of this article from this website, ecowatch.com. I don't even know who runs this site, by a writer named Lorraine Chow. But, facts don't necessarily matter. As I've told you, I haven't been able to look into this completely, but I have enough that I realize that this is not like a federally recognized butterfly center. The property is owned by a what's it called? Mobile home park that's next door.
Okay.
And this property is owned by them. And they decided to put this butterfly visitor center deal on this property.
Okay.
That's run by a white lady with a Mexican last name. It's complicated. But anywho, I think that these folks paired up with the non-federally recognized tribe Carrizo Come Crudo. They don't have any reservation land. And say, hey, let's do this thing together. And also, let's clean up the cemetery over here and be like, we'll have dead bodies that we can fight over. We can fight over the animals. Everybody likes the animals, right? And then indigenous rights. You got the trifecta: indigenous rights, sacred burial grounds, and animals.
And butterflies. They actually, they highlight the monarchs, which basically migrate from way up north to way down south. So they've got the perfect storm of elements. I remember when this first came up that we heard about people going to, in Texas somewhere, and then heard about this butterfly sanctuary that was going to be ruined, and I thought, save the butterflies. Okay, that's a start. Then, a cemetery. They're going to dig up bodies, and there's natives in there. Okay, there's a native issue. Okay, and then this is also an area where, supposedly this tribal area reaches into both countries, and it's like, this is going to be a perfect storm. And someone has land where you can camp on. I thought, this is another Standing Rock with the perfect elements of burials, like up on the hill, and we didn't have butterflies out at Standing Rock, but, there was bison, there was other animals. There was other animals, so it's like this perfect elements for starting this storm. And the border wall, the hype of the border wall and what Trump has been doing, perfect storm. And the migrants coming up north too.
Exactly. Okay. So then I go to this article. I'm reading this article, and they talk about how the land that they're going to build this barrier construction, which includes a 150-foot wide enforcement zone, they say could negatively impact grave sites of Mancias's ancestors buried at a nearby cemetery. And I was like, full stop. Mancias, either this is the tribal chair or the his other relative. I haven't seen them talk about where their ancestors are buried in that cemetery. Did you?
No, I haven't seen anybody. They had a woman where they had this woman where she said one of her relative of someone in the cemetery. So they were interviewing someone there, but you haven't seen a bunch of people from the community lined up outside saying, "Oh my God, this is going to be horrible," And I think it is a bad deal when they have to take cemeteries and they have to exhume bodies and move people. I mean, that's happened here in Fargo, and there's been unmarked graves that people have parked on and things like that. So there's a lot of disrespect and so I understand that. Mm-hmm. But these folks are using this sort of stuff to really amplify their issue. They're not there for the benefit of the community. Sure, they cleaned up a cemetery that has basically been...
But it was abandoned.
And, that happens all the time. Go out in Minnesota, you're going to find all sorts of places that local townspeople will go in and clean up. Usually it's the townspeople that live around there that decide, let's clean up the old cemetery that's all overgrown because, there's no board or people that are funding it to pay for maintenance and things like that, and they're not burying people there anymore. So they end up being abandoned, and so a lot of times these communities around surrounding communities will get together and do things like that. These folks came down in there to start their camp and started their cleanup just for show. My opinion.
And when they leave, it's going to get all messed up again, and
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
not going to really care about what goes on there. I mean, D says, yeah, exactly. When they go home, it'll get grown over again. What I'm saying is, it's fine to care about, cemeteries and people getting dug up. That I totally agree with. But if you're doing it as a pretext, I have a problem, because now you're being disrespectful and you're playing me for a fool. The
Yeah.
article goes on to say, and this is important, folks, because we've had this discussion about the border wall, and they're not funding it, and they are funding it. Okay, let's be clear. The Butterfly Center's fate was sealed. That's in the past. That means the decision has already been made, and there is nothing that these folks can do to stop it. Just like there was nothing they could do to stop the pipeline, nor did they care. They never intended to stop the pipeline. They simply used it as a pretext. The Butterfly Center's fate was sealed in December when the Supreme Court declined to hear a case brought by the Center for Biological Diversity, the Animal Legal Defense Fund, and Defenders of Wildlife to appeal a federal court decision that the Trump administration can waive 28 environmental laws, including the Endangered Species Act, the Safe Drinking Water Act, the Native American Graves Protection and Repatriation Act, all in order to build 33 more miles of wall, including the section that runs through the refuge, the Butterfly Sanctuary, whatever they want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
That project was funded in the 2018 Omnibus Bill in March, nearly a year ago.
Wow.
Okay? Done deal. Why are they protesting something they know they cannot protest and win? It's not going to be stopped. This isn't even about the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not even about the wall for them. Okay, and then and we were talking about this. I actually went on a television program on POV today, and I was talking about how the whole Standing Rock protest was a pretext for some, for their political campaigns, like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And also, these folks are behind the Green New Deal, every single one of them. They're behind the rest of the Justice Democrats and their agenda. They're ultimately raising money through all of these candidates, and they're pushing their agenda politically. But they're doing so by attaching themselves to these leftist radical groups, many of whom are completely okay with violence. Totally okay with it. Let me show you. I want to bring you the evidence because you know me, I like to show my work, and I got receipts, folks. I'm not just talking for talking's sake. I showed you the sky. Let me show you the GoFundMe for the No Border Wall. So this is the GoFundMe. They want to raise $100,000. How many GoFundMes have I shown you on my program?
Lots.
I mean, some of these folks are running Susie Desba, a.k.a. Vanessa Dundon from Standing Rock, that went down to Tijuana, that has the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women's page run with Jay Ponte, that has like 7 other pages that she runs. She's got GoFundMes up on every single one of them.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They're raising money left and right before you can even account or try to ask, what did you do with that money that you raised to do the thing? They're already raising money to do
Another thing. Yeah, yeah.
They never finished the other thing. And it's interesting to me that most of the people that continue to fund them don't care where the money went and aren't asking any questions. Doesn't that seem odd to you? This seems like a money laundering scheme to me.
Oh, yeah.
That these people are using these GoFundMes so that dark money from Hollywood and all of these other places can fund these operations without anybody knowing who really is behind the funding. And there is Russians behind the funding, and there is Turks behind the funding. I have shown you this. So let's see what they're going to use it for. What are they going to use this money for? Because it says protect the National Butterfly Center, but they're showing you a border wall. So their messaging is always hella confusing. But here's what the GoFundMe is supposed to be getting used for. Could you please read that for me?
I will try it. Make my eyes work.
Funds will be used for...
Funds will be used for expenses associated with our ongoing lawsuit against the federal government, travel expenses, depositions, filing and document fees, all efforts related to the publicizing and resisting this atrocity, cleanup and remediation of the damage. If we can't stop it, because the government and its private contractors are not going to do that, and tearing down the wall as soon as we're able. They're going to tear it down.
No. See, they're laying bare the fact that they know they're not going to win. They're not going to stop the wall from being built. They talk all tough. Oh, we're going to put our bodies on the line and we're going to fight till the end. They're going to be out of there on the first plane. These people are disaster vultures. They love to astroturf issues. They look for an issue. They don't know anything about it. They don't have any skill sets to deal with this problem. Many of them have criminal histories, and you wouldn't want to put them at the forefront of anything sensitive, such as caring for migrants, many of whom are unaccompanied minors. But that doesn't matter. They don't care about that. It's all... it's a grift. It's a massive, massive, massive grift, folks. Here is what. Did you finish reading that?
Sure did.
And so I just wanted to get your thoughts on what they said, because they're saying we're going to use it for this, but just in case we're going to tear the wall down. How do you think that's going to go over, Duke?
Well, I don't think it's going to go over very good. I was sitting there looking at this. And we're going to tear it down. I'm like, what? And they need money for this lawsuit. Now, I don't, we got $56,000 raised already on that GoFundMe. And I didn't think you could use GoFundMes for lawsuits. I've heard that, but it seems like people are getting away with that. But it's like your support is invaluable to our efforts to fulfill our mission, preserve our property, and restore it after construction. If it cannot be stopped. It's a really big threat that they're going to basically rip this wall down. That to me was like, you should be fundraising for bail money, because you're going to end up in jail. Lawyers, you're going to end up spending time in jail if you're going to try to tear down the border wall. My goodness. That one throws me. I hadn't read this before the show, and I just thought, what? What's going on?
How many times have we heard of these lawsuits? We're raising money. Red Wolf Pope, a rapist and pretend Indian, was touring the country with the wife of candidate for Congress of North Dakota, Chase Iron Eyes.
Oh, that's right.
And Phyllis Young, organizer of the Indigenous Peoples March, one of the leaders of the AIM movement, one of the leaders at the Standing Rock protest, daughter, Washtewi Young, traveling around the country to raise money to sue Trump. Whatever became of that? Oh, yeah, nothing. And then Red Wolf Pope went to jail for raping women in several states.
Mm-hmm.
The end. Also, he wasn't ever an attorney. Like, when are we going to figure out that, your heart may be in the right place. You don't want kids in cages. You don't want people to languish on a bridge. You don't want people in these massive caravans to be treated inhumanely. But have you ever stopped to think that someone is inorganically forming these caravans, lying to them, stranding them in Mexico, cutting them off from the humanitarian aid that they could receive from Mexico, pitting them against Mexican authority and the Mexican people, and then using them to charge our southern border? It's bleak. It's bleak. What's happening in Coahuila right now, as I have shown you, has got Piedras Negras and the mayor of that town facing the same kind of rhetoric, especially here in the United States, about how the Tijuana mayor was a xenophobic racist, a nationalist that doesn't like migrants, the same way they talked about the mayor of Tecún Uman, where the townspeople ran the caravan out of town because of their loud, crazy partying, also called a xenophobe and a racist. I mean, anybody that wants to follow the laws is just going to be labeled out of hand as a xenophobe and a racist. And you cannot enforce the laws in your city, on the border, or protect your community. That's what is being said to the people of Coahuila right now. And I got really nervous today when I saw these people going to a border patrol, state of the border address at a border point, border patrol building. One of those people that went to this march, I'm going to show you a little bit about that in a minute, is Doug Warren, who recently lied to the FBI. By his own post, according to his own post on his Facebook page, Doug Warren said the FBI came to their camp looking for Jesse Garcia. And I'll show you that it's Jesse Garcia because you're going to watch the video in 2 seconds here. Looking for Jesse Garcia. And they said, and he says in this post, knowing damn well it wasn't him. Because they're all going to, in this video, lie to the authorities and say that A, they don't know who Jesse Garcia is when they've been camping with them for a while now. B, don't recognize the picture that was shown to them as the Jesse Garcia that they know and have been camping with. And they even went so far as to say that it wasn't him. You will hear one of the people in the video say, this is, what does he say? One of the people will say that there are a lot of Jesse Garcias in Texas. And another person says, I know a Jesse Garcia, but that's not him. Meaning the guy in the photo is not Jesse Garcia. I'm going to show you they all lied. So that it definitely is him.
So basically, these are not the droids you're looking for.
Yes, but they were. They lied to the authorities. I think that's a crime. Here's that video.
Oh, the video comes next.
Yes, it is. It does come next. Wait, no. Before the video, I did want to show you something else.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you in a moment these people lied, but I also want to show you who else Doug Warren, the poet slam guy. What was his other name? Brooks. I can't remember. Oh. He has so many names. All of these anti-fascist, anarchist people have so many different names to hide their identities.
That's right.
Or they have stage names because they're also entertainers, as this guy is. He was there with Suzy Desba, the very person raising money on all these GoFundMes, connected to Francis Fisher, connected to all these Hollywood folks and politicians. And she definitely is there at the camp. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Who else is there? Well, I did want to show you that Suzy, she cannot be left behind. She's got to raise money off of this butterfly thing, too. Okay. She's raising money off the missing and murdered. She's raising money off of Standing Rock stuff. She's raising money off of her lawsuit. She's raising money off of the Butterflies Without No Borders. And what does she say, honey? Read that. Please.
Let's see. Butterflies with No Borders. Please share and support trying to send as many people down to stand in solidarity with National Butterfly Center and the Carrizo Comacrudo tribe of Texas. Come stand with us. Support Indigenous resistance and Butterflies with No Border t-shirts. Oh my God, she's doing t-shirts. Let's see. Scroll this up, see what else is on here. Oh, and then there's what is this? Support Indigenous resistance for Butterflies with No Border. And there's a butterfly woman there. And travel expenses to go stand with the Carrizo Corancrundo tribe and walk with the butterflies. $228 raise of $1,000. 5 people have donated. Wow. So she's raising money to go down there now and to walk with the butterflies. I'm not sure what that means, walk with the butterflies. Do you? That's it on that slide.
Okay, go to the next one, please. So I know you can't tell because everybody is covered in snow, but this is definitely Mr. Warren at Standing Rock. You can please look at who posted that and read.
Okay, let's move that over. I can barely see that.
Douglas Warren, that's his post, and what date. So you know where he was when it happened. December 1st, 2016. They're not holding up a fist for nothing. You can definitely see in the background, it's Standing Rock, Standing Rock, Standing Rock, Standing Rock. Okay?
Yep.
So, the next thing I wanted to show you was that he has this Nightlife person, Nightlife Jones public page, one of his many names, I'm sure, because his Poetry Slam name has got a different last name.
Oh.
And it's very deceiving because at the very top, it's got the Kansas City, Kansas Public Schools. Like he's part of the public school system or something. And he does go into public schools and do Poetry Slam stuff with kids. And he also goes into prisons.
Okay.
All very strange mixture of things that he's involved with. And if you scroll down, you will see that nothing more. Sorry, didn't mean to do that to you.
Okay.
Go to the next one. Here's part of what's on his page. This is a video that comes from his page. And he says, just so you can tell what kind of things he's into, this is March, the same year he's at Standing Rock in March. This is what he was up to. Here I am. I'm the guy right in front of the horse. And this was at a Kansas City anti-Trump rally march. The video is fuzzy there, so you can't see it very well, but you're going to watch the video in just a second.
Okay.
He says he's the one in the front. Look for the guy in front of the horses. No, please stay there. Look for the one in front of the horses. The man in front of the horses wearing the green vest. You'll also recognize him from the pictures and from the videos from Somisek Village in Mission, Texas. Chris Otter posted this on March 12th saying, police pepper spraying hordes of people at the Trump rally in Kansas City. In this video, you're about to see Douglas Warren is standing directly in front of the horses. The people are crowded around these horses very, very tightly. Horses do not like that kind of thing. And the police are trying to, even though there's a crowd of people all around them, really, trying to get out of there. And then they do pepper spray. Looks like Doug is one of the main receivers of the spray. Here is that video. See him in a little white hat there in front? He's got the little green. Yep.
Wow, that was fast.
Yeah, he's got a white baseball cap on. He's right in front of the horse's nose. Play it one more time. I think he's wearing what are those like farmer things, Duke?
Overalls.
Overalls, and I think that he's got the green vest thing underneath it. But here it is one more time. See, he is, and he looks like he's trying to calm the horse down or something. Or he's talking to him, and then like boom. Okay. So now, I want to show you. So this guy's used to confrontations with cops. Looks like. Here he is. Here's the video of that he posted on his page saying the FBI came looking for Jesse Garcia, knowing that it wasn't him. They're saying the FBI. He's saying that the people that came there are FBI, even though when he walks up to them in this video, he's saying that he thinks they're marshals. But at the end, if you listen to when he asks them, what agency are you from? One of the officers, I believe, in a more quieter voice, begins to say, or one of the other people that was being questioned begins to say, federal. and then it kind of tapers off because the guy in the suit, who I'm assuming is an FBI agent, said, well, okay, if he's not here, like, hey, why do I have to continue talking to you if you're telling me that the guy I'm looking for isn't even here? So listen carefully for that and notice how everyone around him says, as they look at the phone where one of the officers is showing them a picture of Jesse Dylan Garcia with his birthday on it, etc. Nope, never seen that dude. Or, I don't know. The first guy that they're talking to, you can clearly tells them Jesse Garcia is not at the camp. And I'm going to show you that they did lie to him from public available evidence on Facebook. Here's that clip.
You're here what looks like some marshals, official dudes and badges. Hi, how y'all doing?
Jesse Garcia.
JG? Huh?
Where did he fly out? Well, I don't have any of his information. So I don't. Yeah. There's something. Yeah. He's not here.
No, he's not. He left us. I'll just stay on standby until we get it.
No, sorry. You missed us by a few days. I'm sure there's many Jesse Garcias. I know what a person Jesse Garcia may look like, but
No.
no.
That's not him.
That's not him.
No.
So you know Jesse Garcia?
I know a Jesse Garcia. I'm sure there's many in Texas.
No, you're.
Yeah, maybe you know this guy.
Do you have the number for the other?
Hey, can you show my phone?
You want me to show your phone?
Yeah.
Show your phone what?
The picture.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that is the Jesse Garcia they're showing us. That is not the Jesse Garcia we met.
Okay, do you have a number for the Jesse Garcia?
I don't have one. Sorry. What agency are you guys with?
Okay, yeah, if he's not here then.
I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
y'all have a
Yes.
good day.
Wrong guy.
of Public Safety.
Yeah, just looking for any old Jesse Garcia.
Asking, are they lying to marshals, Texas marshals? I do not know for sure if they are Texas marshals, Melinda Ann. I don't know because I don't believe anything that comes out of these people's mouths. So I'm not sure if when he says I think they're marshals, but he posted the FBI. You saw the post, right? That was Doug Warren's post. So obviously they had other information. I did hear a little snippet of sound in there. I don't know if you caught it, where someone said, after he asked them, what agency are you with? Somebody started saying federal, and then it kind of like trailed off. So maybe they did hear him identify himself at some point. So anyway, this is like, what we do know is they lied to authorities. They may be marshals. They may be the FBI. I think either way it's a crime. I think they're breaking the law. But that's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we will continue to find out if I'm correct or not as the arrests come in.
Yes.
Here is Jesse Dylan Garcia. Okay? This is from the phone, right? Let's look at it.
Oh, that's a picture they're showing?
That's the picture that was in the video from the officer's phone. Remember, he said, show me the phone. And the officer goes, show me your phone? What do you mean, show me your phone? He's like, no, show my camera your phone with the picture on it so that everyone can see what it is who you are asking us about on my live stream, right? This was that picture. And it says, Garcia Jesse Dylan, date of birth, December, what is it, Duke?
1981.
December 1981. Okay. So then, let me show you the picture, this actual picture from one of 3 Facebook pages that Jesse Dylan Garcia has. Maybe he's one of those people that gets locked out of one of his pages and just starts a new one.
Okay.
Like people I won't mention, but I know some of you do that. And it's totally okay. It has more to do with being senile than it does to do with anything else, or just forgetting your password. I don't know if that's the case with Jesse, or he just does new pages because he has a whole bunch of different pages. I don't know, but he has 3 of them. This is that exact picture.
Oh my God.
From his own page.
Okay.
Go back and look at it. Is it the picture or not?
Yes, you can see that if you look in the background.
There's a picture frame, right?
Yeah, let me make this a little bit bigger.
Okay, I just want you to notice is the same exact picture.
There's a picture frame in the background.
Yes. There it is.
It's a different angle.
Now I want you to see who posted that picture because this came from his own Facebook, okay? No. Move that picture. Move that
I gotcha.
image so you can show who posted it.
Jesse Garcia.
When? On what date did he post it? December 25th of 2018.
Wow.
December 25th of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
How long ago was that, Duke?
About a couple months.
Okay. So it is a recent photo of himself posted by him on his own Facebook page. Yes, one of 3, but on his own Facebook page. And it is identical. Identical. Okay? So they lied.
Yeah.
Next, I will show you James Garcia's first page. Well, this is the first one I found. First one of 3 Facebook pages. Looks like this. And oh my, there's one of the women from the Indigenous Peoples March as his avatar.
Wow.
Here's the second. Here's some pictures from this Facebook page. Here are some of his personal selfies, pictures from this Facebook page. Let's see. Is it the same guy in your opinion?
Yeah.
Looks like the same dude to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now let's go to his second Facebook page. Someone said, "Oh, lying to authorities is a crime. Should have showed with the Texas. They should have showed up with the Texas Rangers." Yeah, that would have been something, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So perjury. Now that's when you're on the stand. Perjury is lying to the FBI.
Lying is lying.
Lying to the FBI. No, lying to the FBI is serious.
Mm-hmm.
You see what's happening to these people that have been lying to the FBI? They do not like it. Do not do it. I have a question from someone asking me. Missy says, so did he change his appearance since then that the cop couldn't identify him? The cops did have that same photo. He was not there. He either didn't come out of hiding from his hidey hole wherever he was on the camp and everyone lied for him, or he left at some point right before this happened, because during the video that I showed you of the Carrizo Come Crudo tribal chair that was on KVEO just a day or 2 ago, he's in that TV clip. So he was there up until very, very recently. I don't know. Maybe they're lying. Maybe he wasn't there, but maybe he was. Maybe he wasn't there right that moment, but he is camping there, and even not saying that to the police is a lie. But also, it's pretty clear that it was him. I don't think that you could look at those pictures like those people did in the video and go, that's not him.
Yeah. That's not Jesse Garcia.
I can tell it's him. Can't you tell it's him?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's look at his second Facebook page. This is his second Facebook page. There's a green hand as an avatar holding a flower, like an ecological style theme. And here are some pictures from his second Facebook page. Here he is in glasses. Still looks like the same dude to me.
Yeah.
This is an earlier picture, like from 2015. Here are a couple more pictures from this second Facebook page so you can see for yourself. 2 pics. There's 2 different pictures of him. One with a more full beard than the other. Still looks like the same dude to me. How about you, Duke?
Yeah, looks like the same guy.
Do
to
you
me.
feel like at any of these Facebook pages that I've shown you, did you go like, oh, that's not him?
No.
Or I don't know. I can't tell no more. It's confusing. There are so many Jesse Garcias in Texas. That's the excuse.
No,
Here
it's
is,
same guy.
it's the same guy. It's so easy to tell that it's the same guy. Okay, now let me look at the third one. Here's the third Facebook page. This is the one that he had, the picture the cops showed, the FBI showed, the
Okay.
marshals showed to these people. The one with this protect the sacred banner thing as an avatar that I showed you before.
Mm-hmm.
And here are some of the things that he has posted on this page. I'm going to show you a block of his photos from this page, one of which, if you look closely, says, "Shoot ICE agents on sight." There's the banner. He's got, what's his name, Che Guevara there.
Okay.
Then there's some pictures of plane flight by night. If you go to the right there, you'll see fight ignorance, not. Can you scroll up a little bit more? Up. Fight ignorance, not immigrants. And if you keep going up, you'll see that they're at the camp. These are pictures from his page of the people at the camp, including the ones that they took when the Texas Observer was there. As you can see, they're all standing there, holding up their fists in the air. I've shown you this picture on my show before. And next to that picture, in those orange or red, what are those face scarves that they've got on, is the picture where it says at the bottom, "Shoot ICE agents on sight."
Wow.
Shoot them. That's what it says. Okay. Now let's look at another collage of his pictures, just so you can tell it's really definitely his page. And this one has the Camp's Arising GoFundMe. This is another post from his page. So he was at the camp. You can tell that that's their camp.
Yeah.
There's Dwayne Redwater in the front with his red bandana on his head. I believe he is even carrying his drum in his hand. Okay, if you make it bigger, you can also see the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe flag in the background. And if you scroll to see who posted this, you'll see the Camps Are Rising GoFundMe, posted by Jesse Garcia himself, requesting support for him to be at the camp. I showed you he was raising money for himself, for his luggage. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, I remember the luggage thing.
Uh-huh. Yes. And he's talking about the bulldozers are on their way. They have 5,000 more troops heading our way as well. When did this get posted, Duke? When did this get posted?
Let's see. This was posted
February 2nd. You want
wow.
you're going to tell me he wasn't there? He's not there? They don't know who he is? They are lying to the authorities. They are breaking the law. That's what just happened. That's what you just saw.
Yep.
Evan Duke, Dwayne Redwater, and Jesse Garcia have been at the camp for a while. Here they are together in yet another photo. Dwayne Redwater wearing the red bandana on his head, and Evan Duke always with his cafe scarf stapled to his neck. And then you have Mr. Garcia with the beard on the end. There he is.
Yep.
And here we have an article from Stan Slovic, one of the people that with Doug McLean were down in Tijuana filming, specifically the people that stayed in resistance, refused to go to the shelter El Barretal and stayed in the streets first, and then later went into the shelter Viento y Marea, where they had a standoff with the federal police for 6 days. Remember when Sam Slovic was asking the chief of the federal police if he would like to let him interview him for this article he was writing that he would like to send him about the 2 boys, the Honduran boys that died.
I remember that.
This is it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And how is it titled, Duke? Why don't you read that?
The Last Caravan, A Holy Death in Tijuana.
A holy death.
A holy death.
Okay, then there is a misleading picture of a child
Yeah.
that has nothing to do with the 2 victims. just thrown in there for, it's just so that the first thing that you picture is death. And he's carrying a little car. And then it says, Santa Muerte's Sith has hacked our collective humanity to shreds at the U.S.-Mexico border. That's the sentence under this picture.
Yeah.
Do you know who the Santa Muerte is and why he's talking about a Sith and being collectively shredded as humanity?
No.
Well, he is trying to have some very impactful effect on Mexicans, on anybody that does know what the Santa Muerte is. But at the same time, he is also likely appealing to ignorant Americans who are just going to type in Santa Muerte and get images of what looks like a virgin that is dead. That's, a skeleton holding a scythe. That's Santa Muerte.
Okay, I've seen that.
You've seen that in Mexico.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
So, okay. Santa Muerte is, much to the chagrin of the Catholic Church, a revered form, a saint, a form of, really it's, it comes from a deity of the Aztecs that, we have a goddess of death, the goddess of death.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from her, really, because we were not allowed to continue to believe in the things that colonizers and the Catholic Church did not want. So anyway, she is not a killer. The Santa Muerte, to characterize Santa Muerte as a murderer for Mexicans is so insulting. This person doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. Excuse my French. But seriously, La Santa Muerte is a protector. She is a protector. And she is a pathway into the afterlife, okay? So he does not know what he is talking about. She's not a murderer. She's not taking her scythe and taking lives. And then he goes on. The treatment of Honduran refugees in Tijuana is a deadly blueprint. A deadly blueprint. It's a genocidal blueprint for oppression and the measure of how far we have strayed. But he's saying we, but he's talking about Tijuana. So he's really smearing Mexicans and in Tijuana in particular as being oppressive murderers and racists with this article. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. It is a propaganda hit piece against Mexico that turns the stomach. But it is also a lie because he says, let me just read you one paragraph to you so that you can hear some of the nonsense. Targeted by the same sinister forces in Tijuana that they had fled from at home, asylum seekers have now fallen prey to another mercenary predator. In addition to us metering in addition to a U.S. metering policy that puts them in a dangerous holding pattern, the new migrant protection protocols, aka the Remain in Mexico policy, now remands some people back to Tijuana while their cases are processed. Their asylum cases, Duke.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Caravans already headed north will now have to file their asylum papers in Chiapas, 2,236 miles from the U.S. border. Now, part of that is true. Yes, people are being remanded to Mexico to wait for their asylum hearings, but that was part of what the United States plan, the Department of Homeland Security announced, and they started doing it. They're sending around 20 people back a day. Like it or not, that's the way it's going to be. In 6 months, you will have thousands of people in Tijuana. Mm-hmm. Thousands. in a year, you will have 6,000 or more people. It's going to get out of hand real quick here. I don't know what Mexico's going to do about it, but I can tell you that it is not a sinister. There were no sinister forces in Tijuana that the people were experiencing at home. The people that were in the caravan were given humanitarian aid by Mexicans all along their route, including in Tijuana, as they are now receiving it in Coahuila. The fact that these people have had their brains washed, that they have been misinformed, and that they've been told so many lies about U.S. immigration policy, such that they have unrealistic expectations of what's going to happen when they get to the U.S. border. That is what is causing the problems here, especially because even after the shock of learning that you've been lied to by these caravan exploiters, they double down. These Americans just keep doubling down and saying, I don't know why these people are lying to you. We are your friends. We are definitely here for you. These Mexicans are evil. And that's what Slam Slovic is doing here. And, they're talking about all of these grisly murders that happened. One person was run over by a drunk driver outside of the shelter El Barretal early on, as you know. Another person died as part of some kind of drug-related death. Two of the people that are the center of this story were going to see about getting a prostitute.
That's right.
And they were tricked by the people that lured them where they were going to be robbed. The reason they lured them there was because the prostitute and her cohorts knew that it was check cashing day. It was payday. And these kids wanted to, they hadn't cashed their checks, which is why they ended up being killed. They didn't have any money. But they wanted to exchange money for sex. Here is another person who is with this group. This is V. Patel's Facebook post pic about this march that they went to do at the State of the Border event, which they were not allowed to go into. It was just Border Patrol agents and I'm sure other security forces. If you go to who posted it at the top of the image, you will see that it was, or maybe at the bottom of the image, you will see that it came from, oh no,
didn't
you
come
won't
from
see
me.
That.
What's my name doing on there?
Nope. Well, it is a still. I don't think that this is the right picture, but I don't think this is the right image. But this is V. Patel's Facebook page. Antifa cover. This is from her page. She doesn't have a lot of pictures of herself. The little avatar there is like a miniature Barbie Ken type of thing.
Okay.
Here is a post that was made in Border Support Network by Lilith Sinclair of this same video by V. Patel. And what does it say there, Duke? You can see it comes from the same Border Support Network, formerly the Asylum Seekers Caravan Support Network. And it's from Lilith Sinclair, and she says, Carrizo Come Crudo tribal members and supporters are outside of the Rio Grande Valley sector State of the Border address.
Okay.
Can you continue?
The address is being catered towards local community leaders, stakeholders, non-government organizations, and law enforcement partners.
That's her video.
Okay.
And then you see at the bottom of it, it should say who posted it. V. Patel Adams. Okay. Here is the video. Before I play this, I want to apologize to my audience, to my listeners, to my viewers. This woman is going to sing.
Oh, no.
There's nothing I can do about that. It is a horrible, horrible sort of singing that makes one want to pierce their own ears, much like what I feel like when I hear Adam Elfers singing. But never mind, we're doing this for the news. Here's that clip.
Hey y'all, we are in Mission, Texas. We are outside of the state of the border address. We're here with the Carrizo flag, and we're just gonna make some noise and sing and let folks know that we're not going nowhere.
Jesse got farther than Mike did.
I will fight forever, forever I will fight. I will fight forever to bring light to the night. I will remember all our warriors and our people's ways. I will remember all our women and our people's ways. I will fight forever, forever I will fight. I will fight forever to bring light to the night. I will fight forever, forever I will fight. I will fight forever to bring light to the night. I will remember all our warriors and our people's ways. Yay!
Y'all didn't know the crazy money. I'll have this.
So we got more folks showing up to stand out here with us. Again, we're in Mission, Texas, at the state of the border address. It doesn't seem like any regular people that actually live here are going inside. It's all these like suits and like the border patrol and the police seem to be the ones that are invited to this event. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of public. So I think we're gonna see what's going on here.
No, you can't go.
They gonna let you in. If he's talking to him, and he will come out.
Okay,
Right now you
I'm
can't.
checking on him. That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, he's really good. He's having had some good
He's all right?
conversation. Yes, sir, of course.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Checking. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I will fight forever, forever I will fight.
Everybody get their arms up.
Click, take the picture. Okay, let's go.
So again, we're in Mission, Texas. We're at the Mission Event Center, and they are doing a state of the border address by the chief of the sector. So the only folks that they're letting in, it seems, are like people in suits and the border patrol and the police. They're not letting, it doesn't seem like they're letting civilians in, which doesn't make any sense. Mike, do you want to say what happened? Do you want to tell everyone what happened on the live stream?
Hey, you want to tell him what just happened inside? Nope.
Nope.
He just walks away.
Gone.
So that was bizarre, and I don't know if it's hazardous for me to have comments up on the screen now like this, because I was sitting here sipping my Jamaica when I read Missy Waddell's comment. I will remember to bring my earplugs. I was like,
That's right.
I almost lost my Jamaica there.
Uh-huh.
So let me just see. Next we have the CBP state of the border pic. Do you saw them? Evan Duke's voice. Get your fist up.
Yeah, yeah.
So like
pose for the picture.
Pose for the picture, and then they like standing there. I think this is the picture of them right there.
Oh, that's the one they took right then?
Yeah, I think that's the picture.
God.
Or at least one of them, definitely. And you can see there's, Evan Duke with this cafe scarf on. I believe that Miss I Will Remember to Bring Earplugs is in the orangish, brown, what would you call it? What color is that? I don't know.
Rust.
Rust, yes, it's
I'll make it
rust.
look bigger so we can see everybody.
It's a rust-colored sweatshirt, pullover-y type thing. That's her. That's her. She doesn't have any pictures on her Facebook page, but I'm pretty sure that that's her. Guess who posted this picture? Oh, look at the guy with the green vest. That's Doug Warren.
Oh, okay.
The one that was taking the video saying, he doesn't know where Jesse Garcia is. He doesn't know who that guy is. That's definitely not Garcia. There's lots of Jesse Garcias in Texas.
Yeah.
Who posted this picture, Duke? Who did it? The Somi Sec Village Base Camp. Uh-huh. Oh. Remember that new page for the camp they got?
Yeah.
See the tags. Let's see the tags. The Somi Sec tags. Here are some people on a post by Sarai Garcia, one of those people that curiously called me to tell me more about what was going to be happening with the Come Crudo tribe that she said they were working with, who never called me back.
Never called you back. I remember that.
Uh-huh. This is who she's hanging with. She's hanging with V. Patel Adams, Juan Mancias, Pablo Mancias, and some of these other folks. Ed E. Somi Sec. That's one of the people here. Ed E. Someone was just asking me, what is Ed E? Who's Ed E?
I don't know.
I think this might be Ed E. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If you recognize some of these people in the picture, let me know. Who's the guy with the beard in that picture in the very top? That guy.
That's the guy they're looking for?
I don't know. Who is it? I can't see. It's too small. I don't know. Let me see. Let me look at it a little bit closer and for a moment. Let me put my glasses on. I don't think it's him. I think it's somebody else.
Here's a closer up of him here.
I don't think it's him. That's not him.
It's not him.
That's not him. But
his head's a little more round.
But I think V. Patel is in there all the way in the back. In between the lady and the guy with the holding up his arm.
Okay.
He's right next to her.
All right.
She's tiny. She's a little girl. She's a little tiny thing, short thing. Next, I want to show you the People for Earth fundraiser. Oh wait, no, V. Patel picture guns. This is another picture I found of V. Patel all the way back in the corner. Looks like she's got like little red dots on her head or something weird. And there's a guy with a costume, like a Zorro costume with a couple of toy guns in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
All the way back there in the corner is a girl. You see her shoulders behind the guy in the red?
Yep.
Okay. With the little 3 dots of red light on her head.
Mm-hmm.
That's V. Patel.
Okay.
That's her. And I found this People for Earth fundraiser that was connected to her. And it says Water is Life movement. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And what does it say, Duke? Read
I can't read that. It's too light. It's one of those images that's really hard to read. But let's say drag it way down. Make it really big. Okay, there we go. People for the Earth fundraiser. Saturday, April 8th, 2017. Okay, at Midtown, somewhere, Houston, Texas. Okay. Come join us for a beautiful evening of music, food, poetry, and a silent auction, face painting, balloon twisting, raffles. Information informational speakers, and vendors. We were gathering to raise funds for the world's Texas Esok Na tribe, who are leading the fight against the fossil fuel industry.
There it is. There it is. Keep going. Keep going.
And the destruction of our Mother Earth.
Sound familiar?
Oh, yeah. They are working to establish traditional villages that help educate and bring awareness to the local communities. We are coming together to fight the fracking, pipelines, and the imminent destruction of sacred lands, flora, and fauna. Please join us for a dinner of cashew mole with chicken, cashew mole with vegetables, homemade spinach tortillas, veggie spaghetti, mixed green salad, something, capirotada. I can't say that. Read that word. It's a Mexican bread.
Capirotada.
Capirotada, Mexican bread provided with cajeta and love waters. I'm not sure what love waters is. $700 entry.
Whoa.
What? Plus.
So this. Wait a minute. Excuse me. Hold.
Go back to that. $700 entry fee.
For every person, you got to pay $700. These people sound like the kind of people that Marianne Thompson Frank hangs out with.
Exactly.
Going to $700 a person dinners. Poetry performance. Oh, like the poetry slam guy, maybe?
Oh, yeah. K Boogie.
I see. Does it $7 or 700?
Oh, you know what? Oh, it's okay, 7. Can't see the period. My mistake,
Jesus.
folks.
Jesus, Duke, you scared me.
That was my mistake.
It's your eyes.
It's my eyes, and I'm leaning in.
I was saying,
I think there's a dot on my glasses.
I'll
right in that
tell you
spot.
what. Cashew mole sounds lovely, but that's a lot of money for some cashew mole. Adriana Sofia Vidales. And then you got my dear friend is singing. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, what else does it say there?
Let's see.
You gotta keep going. Lufkin, what? Samba reggae, what?
Samba reggae? Samba reggae percussion band is part of a worldwide family over 1,000 Batala drummers all over the world.
Volunteer members.
Yeah.
Keep going up.
Yep.
What you got there?
Sherita Perez.
Yeah.
She stands apart pretty much everything from every other performer. One of the most diverse singers in Texas.
Okay, keep going up. What else we got?
Pablo.
Yeah.
Mancias, Christina.
Butch Performance? Is that what it says? What does it say? Buto. And then what do you got? Speakers.
Oh.
Juan Mancias.
That's what you're going for.
The Estogna Tribal Nation spokesperson. Okay. Wait a minute. I thought he was the chair of the Carrizo Come Crudo tribe.
Yeah, that's what
Is this the same tribe? Is this the same tribe?
That's what they've been saying.
Is this the same tribe?
I don't know.
I'm asking some questions here. I would like answers to. I don't know the answers. If someone knows if this is the same Juan Mancias, if this is the same tribe or it's a different tribe, I would like to know. I would like to know who that is. Then what does it say? What more does it say?
Jesse Mancias.
Keep going.
And Oscar Gonzalez.
And then?
Mary Carol Edwards.
Yeah.
Fox Red Sky.
Uh-huh.
And
vendors.
Una Luna Henna. Taya Christine.
Mm-hmm.
Bhakti Light.
Chakra. What is that about?
It's a chakra art drawn from my heart.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, what else you got?
Yeah, let's keep going.
V. Patel Adams. What is she doing?
Yeah, face painting for kids and adults.
Yay! They all have worked together before.
And Hugs from Heaven is there. And Christina Urquieta.
Yes.
Celestial Blues.
Glass creation and boot jewelry.
Yeah.
Okay, this
More
sounds like
info
a
coming.
hippie fest.
Oh, yeah,
Is
yeah,
it just
yeah.
me?
I think you're totally right.
I mean, what? That sounded... Okay, what did you think of it? I don't want to be...
I was falling asleep reading it.
Shoot.
Just reading the
Sorry.
description, it's like I couldn't see it very well, but I was not enthralled. It does look like a hippie fest, new age.
Okay, that's
agey
better. That's better. That's
new
better
age.
word.
I don't want to diss any hippies. If some of them still exist, but people who've picked up on that are more the new agers. People I used to call granolas when I was growing up.
Yeah, I don't
But,
want to be disrespectful to those folks. I love some of those folks. Here's the thing. There is a certain populace that loves to predate on the well-intentioned hippie. That loves to manipulate your emotions, push your buttons, and get your money. And these folks are some of those folks. They know exactly what to say. They know exactly what to do to get your money. So here are the people in Tijuana currently making a mess of things. I want you to listen to Adam Elfers. Again, I apologize. Every time I listen to him, it is painful for me. But here he is talking about how he wants to build a bridge.
Let's get you over there.
It is scene 10.
There we go.
One of my best friends, Douglas, from Honduras. He's been part of the caravan and has walked a long way. And he just wants to give a little message to you today, okay?
Hola amigos, familia de Adam, a la gran comunidad, muchas gracias, estoy completamente agradecido por todo el apoyo, por toda la ayuda que nos han brindado a nosotros aquí en Tijuana, juntamente con mis amigos. Nuestro corazón está muy alegre porque realmente hemos tenido un respaldo de parte de ustedes y en especial quiero agradecerles por la gran ayuda que hemos recibido para mi familia en Honduras, para mis hijos, para mis niños, que este año pues van a seguir estudiando en la escuela. Muchas gracias de parte de ellos, de parte de mi familia y de parte mía. Gracias y que Dios me los bendiga.
Thank you for your support and helping us build a bridge. To continue supporting Douglas, his family, and others seeking asylum through direct aid and hope through music where it's needed most, contact us today. Together, we make a difference. Together, we build a bridge.
Together, we break the law.
Yeah.
Together, we exploit the caravan.
Mm-hmm.
Together, we steal your money.
Yeah.
Let me just point out a few things, okay?
All right.
We saw Lolly B, we saw Jake Lee, we saw
Mhm.
Kei Kurimoto. They're all exploiting the caravan
Yeah.
equally. Kei Kurimoto has those Hollywood connections, political connections. Here's what you don't think about. Not too hard, anyway. You remember Douglas, don't you, honey?
Douglas,
You
yes.
remember the video in which this guy was acting like a moron, talking in this fake accent,
Oh, yeah.
putting his arm around Douglas, who looked
Mhm.
really, really annoyed? Well, I don't know why Douglas is lying. I don't know why Douglas would say that his family needs money to go to school, but I understand it, because if these white people were raising money off of me under false pretenses, and I knew that they were basically going to take the money and run, that they were kind of leaving people in the lurch, that they're lying to people, that they're defrauding the public, and they want to cut, I'd be like, you know what? If you want to keep putting my face on GoFundMe's and saying that I'm the poster child for your current fundraiser, you're going to need to fundraise some money for me.
Yeah.
What for? My kids' education. That's a worthy cause, ain't it? Until you look up that in Honduras, just like in Mexico, education, especially elementary school education, is free. Elementary education is years 1 through 9. One first grade through 9th grade. Secondary is 10th, 11th, and 12th. And then after that is college. So all the way through 9th grade, your education is free. Look it up. Look it up. You can even find recent, because if you're thinking, yeah, but in countries like Mexico and Central America, they wear uniforms to school, as you saw. And for some poor people, it may be too expensive for them to buy uniforms and such. Well, you can find recent articles that show that for low-income parents, they have a program that gives them free uniforms. So I'm wondering why they needed to raise money for a whole year's worth of education for all of Douglas's kids with an S when it's free. Did anybody bother to ask? No. And you know what? Poor Douglas, he's being exploited. I understand. But see, the thing is, it doesn't make me think better of Douglas when I know, when the first thing that pops into my head when I'm hearing these yahoos raising money for public education that's free in Honduras, that I'm assuming is free in Honduras because I know it's free in Mexico, it makes me feel like, why you lying, Douglas?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you going along with this lie? And then immediately the answer came to me, well, because he's being exploited and he wants a cut. I get it. But when people like me catch on to this, do you think that we are going to believe that you are an isolated incident, Douglas? Or that this happens much too often amongst people in the caravan that they figure out what the grift is and then they want to cut? Because that is going to make you look horrible to people that would otherwise really want to help you. It's going to make you look horrible. A todos esos caravaneros que se estén dejando llevar porque estos explotadores, manipuladores, activistas les dicen, o ustedes se dan cuenta que los están engañando, que ellos están recaudando fondos usando tu foto, tu imagen, y que quieres que te den que se mochen contigo. Ya te agarré con las manos en la masa, ahora móchate. Los comprendo porque lo hacen, pero al fin de cuentas, los que se van a ver mal son ustedes y van a pensar mal de todos por los poquitos que lo hagan. Tómenlo en cuenta. I had to say that in Spanish to people that might watch this, that are part of that caravan, that are being exploited and that are acting like Douglas. Because I'll tell you what, I hope they hear and take to heart what I had to say. And yeah, people will catch you. We caught all the liars, all the grifters. We're still catching them. They came out of Standing Rock. People like me will tenaciously follow those leads to where they go. And he is also debuting his band, y'all.
Oh, God.
He can't sing. And he has a face only a mother could love. But I am sure that this new band he's going to form from different countries' refugees, and his new Si Se Puede single will lift him into the stratosphere of entertainment.
Oh, God. It's talent night tonight, folks.
Here you go. Here's his debuting video.
Hola, familia. Holas. ¿Qué pasa? All right. Live in Tijuana, Mexico. Come seeking asylum from different parts of the world, not just from Central America or Mexico, but also people from Haiti. So I'm about to meet these artists, this drumming group from Haiti that is here like in their process of asylum seeking. So I'm about to meet them now at the border wall. And we've been recording our music video at the border wall with artistas de Mexico y Estados Unidos, Mexico, United States, Central America, Honduras, Guatemala, y todos somos humanos, all the humans from different places. We've been collaborating and recording them, and are debuting our group, El Puente. So live music by El Puente, which means the bridge. We're debuting that group. It's a bilingual group. It's a multinational group, and we are debuting that group this Saturday night in Tijuana, Mexico. So really excited about that. I've been kind of one of the main writers, producers, and musicians in that collective, and really excited. So yeah, I gotta go. I'm about to meet my friend from Haiti, go record his crew today, and really stoked. So let's do it. And remember, recuerda that love knows no boundaries, okay? Love knows no boundaries. So thank you so much for your support. I'm about to go to the wall and meet these musicians and record this Unity music today. El Puente, Sábado. Muchas gracias, familia Alejandro. Mucha love. Y El Puente, building a bridge. Let's do it. All right. Hasta luego. Hasta pronto. Unidad. Amor, amor. Sí. Woo.
It
Well,
pains me to hear him talk.
Yeah. Isn't that the guy that was collecting all the instruments? He used to send your instruments.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard more about that after that was done.
You never hear more about any of the things that they say you're going to do.
Hey, he's picking up a few Spanish words, you know.
I wish he would
Mispronounces
stop.
them.
I wish
Yeah.
I wish he would stop trying to pronounce things wrong because it is horrible. Please. You give me a headache.
Yeah.
Stop singing.
Stop talking.
These people got to stop talking. Why does he have to use a stupid accent? He doesn't. He's not even trying. You've been down there for months. You could have been. Get a lesson. Somebody
That's
pay for
right.
a lesson for that man.
Fundraise
Get him
for
a
that.
lesson.
Put some of that money towards that.
That's what they should do. So, they're really in it for themselves. I want you to see it for what it is. But it's not enough that they are misinforming these folks, that they are lying to them, that they're breaking the law in the process, that they're doing this all just for themselves. They are going to get people hurt. And I found an incredible video that Lolly B. Lion, not Lolly B. Healing, Lolly B. Lion, Lolly B. Cryman, put up with Jake Lee. I don't know if they're both drunk, high, or flirting with each other in this video, but they act so unprofessional and stupid. And they did this video because the first one that Jake Lee did, which was way, way long ago that I told you.
Oh, yeah, I remember
where
that.
he talked about how, hi, I'm going to do a video about how you can sponsor a person that's been released from detainment. I was supposed to talk to a lawyer, but I didn't talk to the lawyer yet, so I'm not really sure what I'm about to tell you, but I'm going to say it anyway, even though I don't understand it. Let me read it off this paper, and I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
And remember that video?
Oh, yeah, I remember it.
Yeah. Well, I guess either or probably both. They're not getting a lot of sponsors, and they need this video to go out to hopefully get more sponsors. Or people did not respond well to the first video and subsequent videos in which they vaguely talk about sponsorships and don't really tell people what it entails. Because they come up with this new video. They put out this new video, Jake Lee and Lolly B, where she admits, again, that she doesn't know very much about this. So she's going to let Jake Lee do most of the talking. And Jake Lee doesn't do most of the talking, although he does do most of the giggling. But listen very carefully to the depth and the breadth of what they do not know, of what they say might, maybe, could possibly be possible for these folks that are in sponsorships. What kinds of things you can do with your migrant or with the family of migrants you might decide to take home after they get released from detention centers. For how long you may have these people and what kinds of duties you will be tasked with if you take on the responsibility. But the most important things I want you to listen for are this. The reality, the truth, that the majority of the people that they have told to come because it's their right to request asylum, it's their human right, their constitutional right, will not get it. That the vast majority of these people will not get asylum. Okay? And they lie. You, every one of you, if you're watching me or you're listening to me, you have access to a googly machine. You've seen the googly machine and you know how to use it. Maybe it's on your phone. Maybe it's on your laptop. Maybe it's at the public library, but you can find out the percentage of people that are granted asylum in the United States, and it hovers right around 7%. Look it up. These people are going to tell you a lie. I'm going to tell you why they're going to tell you a lie. It's because, one, they know that the people that they have lied to and told, come and get asylum, it's your right to get asylum, would never have done so if they had told them this one fact. Oh, all of this will be for nothing. On the way, you may also be exploited by us, used to raise funds, used in a political attack that will destabilize the economy of Mexico, used in a political attack that will destabilize the economy of the United States. Spend time in detention center, could possibly get separated from your family. You could get injured, you could go to jail, or you could die. No one in their right mind would ever have agreed to this crazy caravan nonsense if only this lying woman had told them the truth. If Jake had told them the truth. If all of these lawyers that are, I guess, now being deported out of Mexico for going over there and lying to these caravanners had told them the truth. Only about 7% of people that apply for asylum qualify for asylum. But they're going to use a different number. Why? Because the number is so abysmally low, and it's going to sound really horrible when they admit it on tape that even other caravanners, although most of them can't understand English, will probably likely hear, because you know what? I am going to translate it for them. I am going to blast it everywhere and make sure that they see your faces with this video saying the truth, which is the majority of them are going to be denied asylum. And that follows, what follows is that if you are denied asylum, you will not be allowed to stay here. Therefore, you will be deported back to your home country. So you understand that the majority of the people that they lied to, they already knew were eventually going to all be deported. You brought these people up here to suffer, to be a spectacle, to give people pity, and to go through the hell and the torture you know are the American ICE detention centers. That you know, that you talk about in your video. I want you to listen to the clip and to the lie, and then I'm going to explain the lie. This is just a 24-second clip, and you're going to hear her admit that, yeah, the majority, we did this all for nothing. All these people came here for nothing because most of them are going to get deported. Most of them will not get asylum. That's the truth. Here it is. Listen.
Can we guess how many would get it?
I feel like I heard 20%, but I don't know if that's...
Yeah, like basically it's not...
20 or 30 maybe, but...
Like it's a low percentage.
I don't feel
of all the people that we've been working with, all the people that are applying, this sad truth is that they will not all get asylum. Like most of them won't get asylum. So it's pretty heavy.
Wow.
Notice how her voice tapered on. She's embarrassed to admit the truth. She goes, so how many of them do you think will get it? And he goes, I don't know, 20%. And then he goes even quieter, somewhere like 30%. Yeah. Should I say a higher number even though I'm lying about both of them? And then she says, because like it's a low percentage. It's a low percentage. And most of them won't get asylum. It's heavy.
It's heavy.
The truth is heavy, yes.
Oh, yeah, it's very heavy.
Yes, your conscience should also be heavy for not having led with that. You should lead with the majority of you will be deported after you've been exploited by myself and others repeatedly for months and months and months, possibly even a year or longer, and put in a detention center and possibly have your kids ripped away from you and your body's frozen and your food, served to you cold or rotten, getting illnesses, destabilizing countries for my political and personal gain. And it could lead eventually even up to your death. But it will be all for nothing. And I knew it all along. I knew all along it was for nothing. Let me tell you about the lie part. You will hear them explain this in the video. This is where the lie comes from. And it's a lie they don't even understand. They're creating the appearance, the possibility that it could be as high as 20% when they know it's 7%. Because they claim, and Lolly says, if somebody can explain this, I'd like for you to explain this to me because I don't get it. She says that in some places, like in New York, I think they mention, the number of asylum claims that are granted, the percentage is higher in some jurisdictions. Some jurisdictions, for whatever reason, they don't know why, that is where there are higher percentages. And I would argue that even factoring in those higher than average areas of the country where a particular region might be granting more asylum cases than the rest of the country, on average across the country, it is the same. So these people do not know what the hell they are talking about. They do not have different criteria for granting you asylum in one section of the country and one region of the court system than they do in another. It is the same criteria everywhere. The reason why, in one particular area, they may be granting more is because people tend to concentrate where other people similarly situated from the same country, etc., all congregate together. You find little pockets of community of Guatemalans or Salvadorians or Haitians or this and that in different parts of town, don't you? Mm-hmm. It just happens like that. So maybe the reason why they granted more asylum claims in one particular part is because a lot of people that came from an area that was war-torn, that did have asylum-seeking claims that were immediately valid because they were fleeing imminent persecution and death, were all from the same or congregated in the same part of the country. That could be the reason. It doesn't mean that the criteria for giving you asylum has changed. But that's what these people think. But now, and please take the time, I know listening to Lolly B is a task worse than eating glass. But please, please, because I want anyone that listens to this nonsense to refute what I have said, that these people are breaking the law, that they are lying to these asylum seekers. I want you to listen to this and tell me they're not doing what I just said. Tell me that they're not selling these people like they're slaves, like they're chattel. This woman is saying, as she is describing why you should become a sponsor, that, you know what? They can clean the house. I showed you how she did it before. They're handy around the house. They're good workers. Listen for yourselves.
Hello there. Welcome. This is Jake. Jake's awesome. We've been working together here in Tijuana for the last couple of months, and it's been amazing. So one of the main important things that people out there can be working on right now is becoming sponsors or helping find sponsors. So we're going to explain a little bit more about the process. Some of you may have heard me mentioning it before, but Jake knows more about it. In summary, when asylum seekers apply for asylum and then they're allowed to go through the process, they enter into detention, and then they're held in detention and they're asked, do you have somewhere to go? Do you have a relative or a sponsor to go to? And many of them do not have family that can receive them, because also if their own family members don't have legal status, then they can't sponsor anyone, because then they're also at risk of deportation. So we're looking for people who have the ability to house and host some, like one asylum seeker or a family, or for up to a year, and be fiscal. And then also you can collaborate with someone to be fiscally responsible for them. If you can do it all yourself, that's great. And this is a way that literally the American people, the United States people, can welcome the asylum seekers, can welcome our relatives from Central America, and help them on their dream to achieving the American dream. So, sponsorship. What does that entail? How could I be a sponsor? What would I need?
No, you can't.
Why not?
We've already talked about that.
I don't.
All right. So basically, yeah, to be a sponsor, you have to have a house.
You have to have a home. Do you have to own the home?
That I'm not 100% sure on. I don't think so. I think
so.
you can rent as long as you can prove that you've been there for a long time and have space for the person. But owning the home probably does help in some ways. But
Yeah. Also, then you can show you have like more potential wealth to be able to support people.
So the main things that you would have to prove if you want to sponsor is that you have an income that can help support another person, and that you have room for them in your house. There's a chance that they could do home visits. They don't usually do it, but sometimes they do. So just to be aware, so everyone needs to be like legal residents and like things like that.
Yeah, ideally citizens would probably be you'd have less to worry about. And then as far as the income, would I need to have a high income?
Oh wait, one other thing too, no criminal records.
Right, no criminal records. If you've been arrested for civil disobedience,
I don't know.
Questionable. It might be okay, because it's, I don't know, not as bad of a crime. That might be open to interpretation for those of us who may have been arrested at Standing Rock or other resistance. That might not disqualify you, but other kinds of crime, you won't be allowed to be a sponsor. And as far as salary, does someone need to have a very high salary to host someone?
Not really. You just have to prove that you can like basically afford to feed and take care of the basic necessities of another human in your home.
So what if you had like a savings? If you had savings, can you use
potentially that should be fine. As long as you have income or a way of like have money.
Like a bank account that you could show that you have money.
And there's other ways to do it too. So say you have a place but you don't really have the income, you can always see if somebody in your community would be willing to be like a financial sponsor for the person, and they could write a letter as well, saying that they're gonna pay for the food and the basic needs, and they're gonna stay with you. So it would be kind of like a dual sponsor.
If either of us had a house or home or apartment or anything besides a vehicle, then I could potentially say, well, I have an extra room, and Jake is a fabulously high-paid person, hypothetically, and then we could work together to host asylum seekers.
Yes.
Okay.
And then there's other ways of sponsorship too. So if you can't do that, we also need like professional sponsors. So like if you are a dentist and you could give someone free dental care, that would be coming to your area, or free medical care if you're a doctor. Things like that. That's another level of sponsorship, and like you would also write a letter in support of the person, just so they can have as many letters of sponsorship showing that they're going to be taken care of when they get to the community.
Right. Basically, the intention of this process is for the United States government to not feel like these people are going to be like a burden on society and like kind of take away from any of the current citizens of the United States. I know that's a critique that some people have heard or maybe hold about the migrant caravan or migrants, immigration, that somehow they will take away from the people that are already there. And this is an example of how that the process is set up to ensure that's not the case, because American citizens will be providing for people. Now, if I were to invite, one of our lovely friends to live in my imaginary home, then would they be able to work?
No. Not for at least the first 6 months, and then they have to get approval. So it's not a guaranteed thing.
Okay. So basically this person would like be around the house, you know, a lot of the time. Like, there's other activities they could do. Maybe they could take classes. Maybe they could like study like a trade or something like that. Some of our friends are like amazing. Like they're just really helpful around the house. They like clean and do the dishes, cook. One of the guys said he would love to take care of elders, you know, and so that would be an interesting population that maybe people who are in the in Spanish called like the tercera edad, like the golden age, third kind of section of life. Older people that might have a larger home. Maybe their kids have moved out. They're grown, and but they could use some help around the house, like taking care of the home, you know, cutting the lawn, whatever like that. And that's something that, you know, your friendly asylum seeker might be able to help you with. Not saying they're gonna like work for you, but just, you know, there's a way that there can be like a mutual contribution and that it can be mutually beneficial for everyone involved.
Yeah. Well, and also they want to do stuff because it's kind of boring to just sit around.
Yeah.
So.
yeah, totally.
But also there are other types of sponsors too. So if you wanted to be like a community sponsor, you can bring them to community events to get them immersed into the culture. And ESL sponsors, so if you teach English as a second language, and like, again, you would write a letter just saying like, I'm going to support them in this way, and give them free ESL lessons. And hairdressers are the same thing. Like literally anything you could think of can be a sponsor if it's helpful to them. And you're saying like, because we need people to bring them to their ICE visits, and yeah,
like
just
court
drive them around, court
dates
dates,
and-
stuff like that.
Right, so that's really cool.
Or
So
to meet
if-
with their lawyers.
That means that you and a bunch of your friends who have been following what's happening at the border and being like, what can we do? How can we help? You know, you're not a lawyer, but you're wondering how you can help. Look at that. You could get together with a bunch of your friends, because then the more support that this person's going to have in that community is like the better chance that they would kind of approve you to be a sponsor. If it may, so maybe you have like a small house and a low salary, but you have 10 friends that are going to offer all these different kinds of support, then that person, you know, you are more likely to get approved.
Yeah.
And now, okay, so now I have a home and I have an income. And so what would I do next? How would I go about becoming a sponsor?
Talk to me.
Okay, so that's what we're doing. Talk to Jake.
Yeah. And then I would connect you to a organization that does like a vetting process. Just
Okay.
Because we do need to make sure that you're fully committed and understand like what you want to, like what it means to be a sponsor, so nothing takes you by surprise. Because yeah, it might sound easy, but it's not. It is a difficult thing to do, but it's also really rewarding. So, but it's just helping you understand the process, and that way you can move forward, and also vetting you can with them.
Okay.
And then we would have to find a new
We're back.
sponsor.
Awesome. Okay, and so so what if I have a few rooms and, you know, I just would love to have kids in my life because they're awesome. What's the process like to sponsor a family? What does that look like?
It's the same thing.
What now? Like I would have to make sure the kids are going to go to a school nearby. Does that have to be
I don't know
approved?
about school.
Okay. Okay, but probably they would.
I mean, that would be beneficial
In
if we can
US,
get them into
kids have to
school.
go to
I
school.
don't know what that looks like because
Okay.
I haven't really been working with the families as much. I have
Okay.
helped families out, just not in the regards of sponsorship.
Yeah, but I think that's like one of the most rewarding, you know, at least here being volunteered, like we haven't been able to share a lot of it online because of safety, but just playing with these like beautiful kids and these families and just, you know, it's just, there's a lot of joy. It's like this extension of a family, and like being in this position, we've made really close relationships with people, and so it just, I feel like it would really liven up someone's life, you know, to be able to work with people, and, you know, even just the languages, right? Like you could teach them English, they could teach you Spanish. If you have kids and like your kids, you want them to learn Spanish, well then great, invite some asylum seekers, and then you guys can all, you know, share and cook and dance together and just really kind of share across cultures. You know, I think that's, like, I remember growing up, a friend of mine's family would have like exchange students, and it was a really cool way just to kind of like make a connection to another part of the world, but being in your hometown.
Yeah. Yeah, and also if you're watching this and you're interested in sponsoring, we really do need sponsors for guys. For some reason, a lot of people are more, what's the word? I don't know if scared's the word, but like afraid to take in a guy.
Yeah.
But they definitely need sponsors as well.
Yeah, if you've been following some of the coverage we've been sharing, basically young men in particular are one of the most vulnerable populations, for example, in Honduras, because they are constantly recruited to join the gangs and the paramilitary groups. So, like, if you're just happen to be 18, 20, and you're just minding your business in your hometown, it's very probable that a gang will come up to you and say, you either have to join our gang, sell drugs, kill people, or we'll kill you. And so, obviously, the only other option that some of them had was leave and seek asylum. So that's why there's other, more men. Also because, obviously, the walk, I mean, they walked 5,000 kilometers, and that's extremely, difficult, dangerous. And so not everyone wanted to bring their families or could bring their families with children, on the way. They wanted to be able to come, get established, and then bring their families later or send money back home. And so, just the strenuousness of the journey is why also there's more, men that have arrived here now. What other questions? Does it matter where I live?
Not really. But there are some places where it is better to reside.
Where do we most want? If we could order up sponsors on a wish list, where would they be?
Honolulu, San Francisco, New York, New York City.
Those are our
Chicago
most
is good. Oregon is good.
In the U.S., can we guess how many would get it?
I feel like I heard 20%, but I don't know if that's...
Yeah, basically it's not...
20 or 30 maybe, but...
it's a low percentage.
I don't feel
of all the people that we've been working with, all the people that are applying, this sad truth is that they will not all get asylum. Most of them won't get asylum. So, it's pretty heavy. But this... Being a sponsor gives them a much better chance and a much more enjoyable time of the process, because if they don't have a sponsor, they'll be sitting in detention. And the Hieleros, if you've been following a different kind of visa, if they already have a good relationship, good friends in the U.S. as well.
Yeah.
What else? What about language? Do they need to speak Spanish?
No, you don't have to. I don't speak
How do you talk to everyone, Jake?
I use a translator app.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Mostly. Well, and I also talk not knowing what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it's incredible. Tons of people that use the Google Translate app. Maybe other people who have migrated from Central America that might live in your community, and this would be an opportunity to get to know and connect with that culture, as well. Maybe that's in a different neighborhood, but nearby. So that could be really cool. I've learned so much about Honduras and Guatemala. Just little, they teach us little cultural things or recipes or sayings or dances from there.
Tell us how beautiful it is there.
Yeah, exactly. That's anything else. I wish we could see your questions.
Yeah.
I think it's on live
again. Our connection
again.
keeps going in and out.
Yeah.
And if anyone is interested in helping but can't sponsor, we do have people that are entertainment centers that need money in their commissaries. They can make phone calls and also get soap and toothbrushes, toothpaste, things like that. So kind of the basic needs. And you might, what you would do is contact me and I can get you their A number so you can directly get that into their commissary.
Yeah, which makes a big deal if people are stuck in detention for months and months, if you can have someone that can help and just give you some money to be able to go get a snack or...
Oh boy.
Or how about just not lie to them in the first place? How about that? So this video was just really, really crazy. I saw a lot of the comments as they were going by. People were getting that Lolly seems to be telling people they can order up a slave or a pet. I mean, it's pretty gross. Somebody said it sounded like slavery, and I agree. It does to me.
Oh, yeah.
The way that they're talking about it is just horrendous. But, he says, even though they're doing a video to explain supposedly what a sponsorship is like, they don't do a very good job. And he says, I would refer you to a person that's going to make sure that you understand what it entails and that you're committed, because it may take you by surprise. You think?
Yeah.
You think it's going to take them by surprise when they talk to the people that are actually going to tell them what it entails, and then they realize oh crap, this is a huge commitment. So he says you have to own it. They say you have to own a house, right? And then they're like, well, maybe not. Maybe you just have to have a house that you lived in for a long time and prove that. But he says they say maybe, because they don't know. whether or not you really have to own a house. And usually you do, just like when you put down bail for someone, because you know they're putting down bail so that people can get out in many cases, and they need a guarantee, right? They're letting people out with these ankle bracelets because they need a guarantee that they're not going to, run away or not show up at their hearings. So yeah, usually you have to own the house, and also you have to have an income. Can you just have savings? Can you just do these other things? Maybe. Well, there are people that are United States citizens that have tried to sponsor their own family members that do have homes, that do have savings, that own houses here, that have been denied the right to sponsor their own family members because they have seasonal work, because they work construction and they do these other seasonal jobs. So the criteria for sponsorship is very hard in many cases. And of course, they balk at the possibility that he says you can't have a criminal record, but then she says, but maybe if you got arrested for the stuff we did at Standing Rock, you could still do it, right? And they say that you would have to host someone for up to a year. I know people in my family that have been hosting people for 4 years now. It's not over in a year usually. That's a lie. Then they offer opportunities for people to be a medical sponsor. If you're a dentist, you could sponsor someone and give free dental care. How about hair care? Like you could do anything. Presumably, Lolly could be giving them free yoga lessons. Who knows? And then, of course, you have the admission that migrants cannot work for the first 6 months, and probably, Jake admits, even after that, because getting a chance to work, being given a visa while you wait, is not guaranteed. And then, of course, it's they go, maybe migrants could go to classes. How do you know they can go to classes? Who will pay for the classes? Then, of course, they start talking about what these might, like, here's the bottom line. Do you want someone to clean your house? These people are handy. They can cook. They can teach you Spanish. They can take care of the elderly. They can landscape. Also, you will have to entertain them because they could get bored. And we've seen what happens when they get bored in Tecum Uman. We've seen them when they get bored in other cities in Mexico, what can happen. They can throw wild parties that go on until the morning light that are fueled with drugs and alcohol. And I don't understand this whole community sponsorship because, it sounds like walking someone else's dog. Like, you could take them to community events, immerse them into USA culture, sponsor them to teach them English, or, just to get them a haircut. But you need to bring them to their ICE check-ins. Also, there may be ICE visits, home visits. So there's check-ins from ICE to your home. That's something you never mentioned before. Remember I told you about that? You also have to take them in to check in to see that they're still around because they have an ankle bracelet. Remember that. You also have to take them to school. That was a possibility, right? You also have to take them to see their lawyers. You're going to have to take them everywhere, basically. And in exchange, they will liven up your life. You can learn Spanish. You can dance with the migrants. You can play with the children. And also, please sponsor men because a lot of people are scared to sponsor single men. And they definitely want sponsors in Honolulu, San Francisco, New York, Chicago, and Oregon. Why? Not because the chances for people getting asylum there is better. Only because in their minds, those particular places, according to statistics, have a higher rate of granting asylums. So they think the criteria is different there. It's not. But that's what they think. And of course, this bizarre thing, you don't need to be able to communicate with them. Just use Google Translate. It'll be fine. That won't be tense at all. Get to know some local Central Americans in your community and, just make it work. Simple, but not simple. Because Jake Lee tells you, you might be shocked. You might be surprised when you realize that, oh, wow, this is a lot harder than anyone told me. Well, Where might they have gotten the idea that this would be simple?
Yeah, exactly.
Who gave the public the idea that sponsoring folks would be just quick and easy? It was these same people and the people around them. Take a listen.
Yeah, really.
There are, people that are under 18, and so I'm wondering if there's a potential for American people that would be able to adopt them, and if that could be a faster process, because there's some youth that are here alone. They're not with their family, or they might not have family. Even they're older, they might be like 16, 17, but I'm just wondering, like, wow, could some person reach out legally in that way and try to adopt some of the youth in order to get them across? So that's something I want to continue looking into.
Yeah, so with unaccompanied minors, there's more information I gotta get for that, and if anyone is in the foster care system, if you are able to foster people, please get in touch with me, because that would probably help a lot. Alright, I'm gonna move on to the next part. So when you are a sponsor, there is a potential that ICE, or I don't think it's ICE, but somebody could do a home visit. I don't think that it's super likely, but that is something to be aware of. Everybody that is living in the home does need to be a U.S. citizen. No felony charges, or I'm not sure about misdemeanors. I need to find that one out too. That was what I was hoping to find out today.
You can sponsor a family. So thank you. That's a very important and effective way that you can make a huge difference. So the people, when they cross over, if they're given the option of applying for asylum, they're then put into detainment. That can be in there for up to a year. They're not supposed to be there very long. I think only 3 days if they have children. But the fastest way to get out is to have a sponsor. So I'm trying to learn more about the actual specifics that are required for that. I know you need to, I think, have an address, a home, and be fiscally responsible. So, ironically, a lot of us volunteers, we're travelers, we're activists, we don't have a home, so we can't house anyone. But you can apply to be a sponsor, and that can change someone's life. You can have, you, and that's the way that you can make a huge difference. I think there's also ways you can be an affiliate sponsor, so that if you have a home they can stay in, you can then collaborate with someone else who can help with the finances for that person. And so yes, okay, so please send me a message if you're interested in sponsoring, and definitely get that word out. We're going to try to do a video later with my friend who knows more about sponsorship. Especially we're looking for people in New York City, California, and Hawaii, but honestly anywhere. People are going all over. On the other side, they're being bused to Louisiana, Arkansas, wherever they have relatives or a friend. But the people who don't have relatives, it's harder for them to get out of detainment. So if you are able to be a sponsor, that you can make a huge difference. And the people, I have felt nothing but everyone is so sweet. They're just so awesome people. They're amazing people, really just hardworking and just grateful, and I think it would be a really positive experience. Especially I'm thinking empty nesters who's maybe their kids have grown up, and they don't have grandkids. They're these little kids here, they're so cute, and they just are just so full of joy. It could really be a positive thing for everyone involved if you could sponsor. So I'll get more information about that.
For those of you that don't speak Spanish, but you want to be a sponsor, I would suggest start trying to learn Spanish. And there is this app that I use to communicate when I don't have anyone there to translate for me. It's called iTranslate. It's been very helpful. And it's also helped me kind of learn words here and there. But there's many other ways to learn Spanish, but that's helpful if they come into your home before you've actually learned Spanish, to be able to communicate with the person that's there. There are forms that we'll need to fill out once they're going up for asylum. Everybody needs to do a sponsorship letter, so whether or not you're sponsoring as the main sponsor or one of the other sponsors, which I will explain as well, we all need to have letters saying, this is how I'm going to be sponsoring this person. And I have, templates for that. So it's pretty easy to make these letters.
Yeah, there's always search for lawyers and sponsors for the people that can get across. One thing we were thinking, because a lot of our friends who are going to go into detainment are worried about how their families are going to be taken care of in Honduras. So that's another thing we were thinking, you could possibly sponsor a family that's actually still in Honduras right now while their father is in detainment, because some of them will be there for up to a year. And so that's another way that maybe we can facilitate easing a little bit of the suffering. So that's another thing, but also being a sponsor for the people that are able to go across, like the families with the young children that are not held in detainment long, then you can invite them to stay at your house and support them that way. So there are ways you can truly make a life-changing difference where you are. So putting that out there,
Yeah. None of us can do it, of course. Jake can't do it. We're all activists. All of us are activists, except for the people from Hollywood, but they can't do it either because, they're busy being activists too. And, the documentary filmmakers and photographers that travel with us and the entertainers of all stripes travel with us and all over the world making money and exploiting all these people. They're activists too. They're not going to do it either. They don't have time for that. And, the politicians, they don't have time for that either. They can't do it. But all of you stupid people out there, why don't you do it?
That's right. And I noticed too that in the previous video they said criminal record. Well, civil disobedience, like if you got arrested at Standing Rock, I don't think that'll matter that much because we have immunity as being people from Standing Rock. We're water protectors. So it's that's not really a crime. But, if you have some other crimes, you might have to check into that. But I don't think so if you're a water protector and you got arrested at Standing Rock, that's not going to be a big deal.
These people think that we are idiots. They think that we are stupid, and we're going to keep turning our money over to them and allow them to continue to commit crimes and to create this havoc. Because as you can see, their misrepresentation of the law, their lies to the caravan goers, their bad legal advice that is getting their lawyers deported out of Mexico is what is causing all of this havoc, bringing all of these people here under these false pretenses of hope for asylum these people knew they wouldn't get in their majority, only to put them through all of the hell of the detention centers, possibly for a year, which they admit is going to happen to a lot of these people. And now they're just trying to say, well, we'll raise money. We'll raise money for the people in detention so that they can have food and have their families taken care of, and in exchange for their sacrifice, really, because we just brought them up here to waste their time and spend a year in detention and then get deported anyway, and then get deported anyway, and then get deported anyway. Because as she said, the majority of these people will not get it. They will not get the asylum. The majority of these people. And she knows it. But oh, by the way, I know I can't do any of the things I want the rest of you out there to do and will cry repeatedly to get you to try and do for me because I can't do it. I would really love to have you put some money in my PayPal. Me and Jake and Kei Kurimoto, we have a fundraiser. Lolly B, Jake Lee, Kei Kurimoto, Mr. Adam Elfers, we have a fundraiser. We'd like you to put money in that too. Could you please? Look, we're standing next to some migrant caravan people, so you know that we're really doing the work, right? If you feel called to throw your money down a rat hole, please contribute to support our team of volunteers and asylum seekers working to provide basic needs and services to people who have immigrated from Central America. Could you please put some money down for us? You're funding this nonsense. Every time you give these people money, you're funding the far left campaigns, these groups, everything that they're associated with. You're funding the lies, and you're also helping to fund their crimes. That is exactly what they are doing. They are breaking the law. And I hope that you can see that they are just doing it out of a selfish sense of arrogance, of their own need for attention, for fame, for money, and so that they can travel around the world feeling like heroes at your expense, while they actually wreak havoc everywhere they go. That's all I have for you tonight. I will be bringing you more updates very soon here on A Mexican Crossing Lines on 88.1 FM, KPPPLP Fargo Moorhead, where we are adding local color to your airwaves. Thank you for being with us, and good night.